Hey, welcome to your best post-race show ever here on Twisted Tea. We're going to shine a light on riders that you're probably wondering, what's up with these guys? Up front, you know the deal. Hayden Deegan gets his first moto win ever. That was awesome. And the Lawrence brothers keep on winning, so the superstars we expect are doing really well. Although, I don't know, I apologize to Deegan. I didn't expect this good this soon. My bad. He's been awesome, but the Lawrences are awesomest.
Awesomest.
Yeah. I'm inventing it, Kellen.
Yeah, very nice. I don't think I expected a moto win from Deegan.
Yeah.
When he whole shot that moto, though, I was kind of like, man, he's really good early, and this track is tough to pass on. Never know. So as soon as he started taking away with it, I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, this is actually happening. So believe it. Believe the hype. It's here.
Believe the hype. Absolutely. Held off his teammate, Justin Cooper. Now, I'm going to make you step aside. We're going to bring on some special guests. Now, in this series, the first two races, you're probably saying to yourself, what is this Wildcat racing team? Well, we got Lorenzo Locurcio, who you might remember, raced in the U.S. before, and Jose Butron. You're sixth in points?
Yes.
And what are you in points?
7.
Unreal. This is awesome. So I remember you as an MXGP guy. How did this even happen to come race here? How did this come together?
I was teammate with Lorenzo in Europe for 3 years. Our dream was to ride the AMA Pro Motocross, we want to try to do it before, but this year we make it happen. We find some friends who give us some money to run the team. The name is Wildcat, the nickname from Lorenzo. Yeah. So a crazy idea, crazy result we are doing with the almost standard bikes without helps. So I'm very grateful to be here and enjoy this championship.
Riding awesome, like top 10 in every moto, but you're looking for sponsors. You want more help to get all the way through the end of the year, Lorenzo?
Yeah, for sure. Every sponsor's welcome. So if you guys want to help out, just hit us up on our social, and then hopefully we can make something happen.
How about the riding, man? You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I've been happy. I don't know if you know, but I got back in January, I got ACL surgery and shoulder surgery. So I'm not even supposed to be here. I just really grinded out the therapy, and my doctor said how surprised he was. 3.5 months, I was ready for ACL. So, I'm just lacking a lot of riding time, honestly. I put all this year between Motocross Nations last year, and now I only have 22 hours on the bike. So I'm for sure lacking some laps in, and I'm just happy. Of course, I want to do better, but I just don't have it in me right now. I just got to build step by step and get back to where I know I can be.
He's probably like the best non-factory rider, and he wants more. I just want to ask you, these are different tracks than a lot of the ones we'll have later, but what have they been like, these first four motos, these tracks, and the whole format, the other riders, what's it been like?
The Pala and Hangtown was like European style track. Tricky, bumpy, big rats, so I'm used to it. Yeah. Because in Europe we almost ride every weekend like that. Yeah. The Europeans said the American track are easier, faster, and come tired, but I really come tired riding at this level and pushing with these guys. So, the track surprised me.
Okay. All right. It is tough. All right. Well, congratulations, Lorenzo and Jose. We'll see you the next one. Keep up the top 10s. Let's talk to some other riders post-race here at Thunder Valley.
Overall today, but man, second moto, you were in the battle like the whole time.
Yeah. First moto, I did not ride good at all. Just kind of fell apart and finished 18th. First moto was what it was. Second moto, got off to a really good start. Fourth, pretty much ran. I was fifth for a little bit, got up to fourth, and I was fourth for about 25 minutes, and then Deegan and RJ got past me, and I had about 3 laps left, and I was just trying to just hammer it out, and it was a grind for sure, because I saw Levi and Perez behind me, so I just tried to hammer it out the best I could, and finished 6th, so it's a step in the right direction for sure. A lot more confidence now running up there, and I know I can now, so it's definitely helping my confidence.
10th overall today, both motos, I feel you're just kind of like right in the mix, battling with that. There's a huge group of people, both motos.
Yeah, like if you can get to like the 3rd to 6th range, like you can almost ride your own race, and then like from like 8th to 13th, dude, it's a dogfight. Like you're almost trying harder riding with those guys in that pack than you are in 3rd place. Like you just have clean air. So that's my goal right now.
For the field, both motos, what did you think about the track for passing, and where did you find areas to pass? Because I heard a lot of people say it was one line today.
Yeah, prep job wasn't the greatest, I don't think. Like, it seemed like from the very first lap today, it was only ripped maybe half a foot, and it was watered heavily. So it was just kind of skatey and hard, and the dirt kind of just packed in real quick. The ruts that were there just all kind of funneled into one big rut. As far as where I was making passes, I was just like, I couldn't even tell you, like, really, like, it just seemed like I was kind of just like you catch people by surprise sometimes. I was getting told over and over, kind of like a broken record today, like, you need to just flow your corners and not stuff them. And that second moto, the track was a little bit more hard pack, and it seemed like I was flowing corners a little bit better, and I was working on standing up on the first jump out of the corners. So when I stand up, I'd scrub it, and I would get a lot of momentum for the rest of the straightaway. So there's a lot of up and down hills here. So if you can scrub that first jump on those uphills, like I'd made a pass on Rider D right towards the end, and I just scrubbed the first tabletop uphill really good and just lean back and let that thing eat. And you kind of have to be aggressive and cut people off towards the corner. Right. But I don't think people were saying it was their favorite track today. It was definitely rough and kind of high speed, so it's always a little sketchy. Yeah. But glad to get through it. Glad to show that I'm pretty solid, and hopefully I get to race next weekend.
So the setup that you had in the second moto at Fox Raceway, did you change it again going into this weekend, or did you try to roll into the same?
Try to make, we always try to make it a little bit better and make some small mistake. So I went back for second moto again, like Para, and then was way better. So I'm just gonna stick with that, and hopefully we can do two gun moto in Thunder Valley.
I know we've talked about adapting to these new tracks. What did you think about this one today? I know you said on the podium that you liked this one at the end of the day, but what did you think about it from start to finish?
Track gets rough and hard pack. I mean, it was a lot hard. Second moto was kind of dry actually, so I like it, to be honest. It's pretty nice. I think next weekend Thunder Valley is also big rut and kind of hard pack. So that's a track I like it. To be honest, I feel more confident. So track was rough. Downhill, ruts, many ruts, and a little bit of water before second moto make it a track slippery the first few laps. But to be honest, it was a nice track. I like it. It was fun.
But keep the look going. Yep.
Keep the look.
Can you see that? All right. I love the look of Chiz again today. Let's bring it back over here with Kellen. Chiz, you're all themed out. You got the hat. You got the there's Twisted Tea shades.
Yeah, look at those.
Look at it. Good.
I got to do something good today because the riding wasn't very good. So. Yeah.
I still feel. What were you 12th both times, something like that, right around there?
Same as last week, like 12 and 13, whatever. Yeah. So.
How do you set realistic expectations with the way the field is right now? Like, where are you suddenly like, hey, I should be getting 6th? Like, where do you want to be?
I mean, yeah, kind of. Like, I know you're talking to like Lorenzo. I ride with him at home all the time. We train together. Man, the last 2 weeks I just didn't bring it on Saturday. Didn't ride very good. Didn't ride like myself. Yep. Like I said, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that good either. Tracks are tough. These tracks, especially today, is super hard, choppy. I actually enjoy this track, but I didn't ride very good. I got arm pump both motos. Just didn't ride that good. But yeah, I mean, obviously, unfortunately, we have a lot of guys hurt, so I want to be up there. Top 5 or 6 guys are still obviously really good, but I feel like I can be right behind those guys, and I didn't do it. So, yeah.
I'm going to use your veteran experience to explain these tracks. I feel like they've gotten progressively less super deep and muddy and wet like they were for years, and guys are asking for that. But what's it like now that we're getting it?
I mean, so I would prefer, like here, for example, I would love them to like rip it deep and be more loamy. Yeah. But like just the fan in me or whatever, I kind of I think it's cool that they leave them more natural to what they are. So they're not all the same. Yeah. You got to be able to ride in all conditions, right? So. Yeah. I can ride on a track like today. I just didn't do it today. It wasn't my best, right? So I like that they're kind of leaving them a little more natural, like just kind of what they are. Some of these tracks, I don't personally do it, but like here, I talk to fans and like, yeah, this place is usually super hard packed and like concrete. We don't ever see it like that because it's like loamy and prime. Yes. So I kind of like that they would kind of go back to like the natural dirt, back 20 years ago when I started doing this, they were kind of more like that. So I've kind of evolved with it. But, and it's tough for me too. Like, I guess we call it an excuse, but I haven't done outdoors really since 2018, and I got hurt that year, so it's short. So, I mean, man, I was adding it up, and I think I've done about 1 season combined over like the last 6 years, because I've only done a couple races here and there. So I just feel like I don't have my outdoor groove yet. I'm just kind of riding and not racing. So, yeah.
I still feel like you're chizzing, but maybe low-key chizzing.
the outfit is chiseling. That's
Yeah,
for sure. That's at least, right? That's good. Got that part. Yeah,
Gotcha.
so.
All right, Chiz, we'll bring Freddie over here in a little bit. Thanks. Kellen, let's bring him back in. We'll get you in a second, Freddie. So Jett Lawrence, we knew it was going to be difficult on everybody else because Chase Sexton was at least out today. Talked to Lars a bunch of times. They really don't know what the update going forward is for him. But we did see the Ferrandis Webb Plessinger group keep Jett much closer. But we never know with Jett. Is he only doing what he has to do? Like, I'll beat Sexton by 1 second, I'll beat them by 4 seconds. It's so hard to detect.
It is hard, but I feel like today it was a Jett ride where he was managing it. Because both motos you saw right to the front, 4 or 5 second gap, slow down. Yep. Like, I felt like he was just like, he knew where he was, he knew where everybody else was, and he knew, like, it got to a point where you could see him going over the old finish line jump, and every lap he'd just do this. He'd just like do a little beat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think he knew where he was at, and knew that he had the pace to do that the entire time, not get tired, conserve energy for the second moto, just in case he had a bad start, and roll it into 2 wins on the day.
And a little other proof, poor Aaron Plessinger has spent every inch of every moto trying to pass a guy. He tried to get Ferrandis Moto 1, couldn't do it. He finally gets around him in Moto 2, and for a lap, he made a run at Jett. He was going 211 where Jett was doing 212, and then Jett went 210. And then that's probably your evidence right there that Jett's like, oh, it's Plessinger now? I'll find another second.
Yeah, I think so. And unfortunately, like, I feel like if we could see a couple of these guys start in front of Jett, it'd be really curious. I mean, Ferrandis did start in front of him in the first moto, but Jett was just immediately into the lead. I really want to see what he does having to pass all of those guys, because these are all guys that he's not raced in a long time, like Ferrandis, it's been a while, and everybody else never before. And so he doesn't have the same, knowledge base of racing an RJ Hampshire or racing a Joe Shimoda and knowing their tendencies or where they go or how they attack a corner or something like that. I want to see him have to pass those guys and figure that out. So far, he has just been able to get out front and gap those guys, and those guys don't know how to race him either, because so far they haven't raced him at all. Really? Watching the back of him was probably not fun.
One other thing I want to point out, Cooper Webb doing Cooper Webb things. He was maybe the 4th fastest guy, and he dug out second in Moto 2. Plessinger went down, and Ferrandis just couldn't figure out a way, and that is so the way Webb does it. Yeah. It's like his strategy of, I will hold you up just enough to get you mad, to where you're like, I'm so much faster, why can't I pass you? And Webb doing Webb things, I know Jett's out there, you just never know. I feel like Webb is saltily putting himself in position if something goes wrong.
Well, I feel like Webb, even on Friday, was like rubbing his hands together a little bit, not to, dance on Chase's like grave or anything, but he's like, this is why I came back to round 1, because anything can happen. We saw what happened at the end of Supercross with Eli, and then Chase wins the title, and if Cooper had just lasted one more week, maybe he wins the title. So for him, he's just like, we're just like one Jett Lawrence dabbing the knee wrong away from me being an outdoor champion, I think. And I think for him, he's just building each week and making sure that he's in that title fight, can beat Ferrandis, can beat Plessinger. So if things go really awry, he's in there to win the title.
All right, we talked 250s at the top of this show, but let's talk to some riders post-race.
All right, Adam Cianciarillo, 5.4 scores on the day, so not too shabby, but just kind of take me through it.
I've been doing a lot of riding by myself, kind of better than other guys and not as good as the guys in front of me. So it's a bit of a frustrating situation, because I think I'm a guy that's typically has the speed to battle for podiums and win. So it's mentally pretty challenging for me. Not exactly where I want to be, but like I talked about last week, it's all about me sticking with it and finding ways to get better instead of focusing on stuff that I can't control. So I'm pretty pissed off about it. It's not I can't say like, even though this has kind of been a trend this year, like dealing with this stuff, I'm not like a good loser. I don't just go out there. I'm not sitting on the gate thinking to myself like, oh yeah, we're just gonna roll around and get fit this time, So even though it may not look like it, I'm having to put in a lot of effort. And I think I made steps today. I was a bit closer to the front pack for a little bit longer, both motos, and didn't get beat by 2 minutes, so that's something. But at the end of the day, man, all I could do is what I could do. I think we're making good steps with the bike and myself, and I really think I can get closer. I just got to learn how to do it again and learn how to do it in a different way.
All right, we're going to go 3 people, 1 mic. We're going to bring out a Freddy Noren. We'll have Kellen awkwardly stand here like he did in the Chiz interview without a mic. I feel like you wanted Kellen to be here, though.
Yeah, I do. I mean, he's part of the show, man. We got to keep him here. Where we have 3 mics or 1 mic or 2 mics, who cares? We got 1. That's all that matters.
Now, the other thing we want you, hey, fans, hey, you guys, you wanted to be in the show, right? Come and stand behind us. This is their chance. We told you folks to come over here around 6:45.
There you go.
These guys even got a hat out of the team. You got hats from the team. I cannot. put a disclaimer. I cannot guarantee that everyone that comes over here is going to get swag every week. They got some hats. They got twisted tees. Nicely done. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Freddie, did you finish the job today? I know you were up there last week and you were a little bummed. Did you feel like you finished it today?
No, unfortunately not. It started out great, you know, good qualifier, 6th in the qualifying, 6th Moto 1, and then I threw away Moto 2. Fell twice again, and I was like seeing cross-eyed there for a little bit, pretty much. It was one of those, but, you know, wheeled her in for a 15th place in the second Moto, 11th overall. So just like, I'm pretty frustrated, but like, I did have some good stuff, so I'm pretty happy about that, though. And, you know, it's just second round. We got a lot more racing.
So if we see you at Thunder Valley, like, get the 2/6, is that going to be like, okay, I got the baseline established?
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think that's where I should be, at least, you know? So 2/6s, I would have been pretty stoked. Yep. If I would have went 5-5, Larry would have jumped in the pool with us. So we have some small bets going on. I guess it's not really a bet because I can't lose, really, you know? I can only really win.
He doesn't make you jump in when you don't get 5th. Right?
What?
You can't lose the bet. Yeah.
No, I really can't, you know? Like, I jump into the pool anyways because I'm hot from coming from the moto. Yeah. So we're going to get the pool all dirty from all us racing, and then we'll get Larry in there. So that's the plan, you know? I don't need a lot of motivation to get going, you know? But that'll get me going a little bit. We're going to get Larry in the pool.
Tom, get the camera. If he goes 5-5, we'll get Larry Brooks in the pool. I want to ask you the same thing I asked Chiz. You've raced this series a long time now, and the tracks have evolved. They were getting deeper and wetter and ruddier, and then a couple years ago they started going away from that. And now we have halftime. I don't know if you know this. They don't need to water even as much in the morning now because they can water in between. So what do you think? It's become more of a California track like it used to be.
Yeah. I loved it when they ripped it deep.
Yeah.
So I love that. You know, like this is kind of like hang loose, just hang it out, and I like it a little more technical. It's obviously rough still, and it has its challenges on its own. But I love it when they just freaking rip it deep, soaked, muddy in the morning, and just ruts everywhere, lines everywhere. I think that's cool.
Well, let's get his take on this because a lot of people said track super one line today, but you came from whatever 38th. To 15th. So how many passes did you make? Where did you make them? How did you find ways to make up time on guys? Because there are a lot of people say it was one line.
I mean, I would say it was pretty one line.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't need to bump into people, I guess, to make passes.
Okay.
I would say I did do some yelling and some revving as well. Okay. And then I utilized the blue flag sometimes too. You know, when blue flag come out, you know, like I'm like revving it a little bit, like I'm not
admit
part of this battle. Yeah. So I mean, you know, you got to use everything you can have. So.
Okay. Right. I think in Supercross Riders meeting they used to say don't do that, but I don't think they said that here. So you didn't know. You didn't know.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Do that?
You know, I'm not joking. I believe it was Weston Pike that was doing it all the time. Yeah. Back when Pike went from a guy that was lapped to a guy that wasn't. And in his lapped days, he used to do it all the time. And they said it in Riders meeting.
Really?
They did. They're like, they called it a sucker pass. No sucker passing.
Maybe we can cut this part out. Yeah, I'm going to get like loss of points or something. Nah.
Yeah. Well, they didn't say it, so you're good. You're good.
Hey, you know, the riders' mechanics should say 47 not lapping you, maybe. Yeah. You know, just saying.
I just want to ask you one more thing about the ruts. Thunder Valley used to have like 500-foot long ruts. Are you even cool with that? Or is there a point where it goes to, because that track specifically was crazy with the long ruts back in the day.
I will say Thunder Valley is pretty gnarly. Yeah, but, I mean, it's cool. It's a challenge. Okay. Challenge of its own. I would say last year Thunder Valley was pretty muddy and ripped deep in early on, I think, right? I can't really remember. I did like one.
They all blur together. Oh.
Yeah.
For you, it did too.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I did not crash or anything. I was dealing with some nerve problems last year. I kind of still are, but yeah. Foot drop foot, like my left foot.
Oh, I remember that. Yes, that's right. You're dealing with it. Well done. Yeah. All right, that's Freddie. That's our Twisted Tea Best Post Show ever. Congrats to the Lawrence brothers for winning again, and we'll see you in Thunder Valley next weekend.